An active shooter on OU's Greek Row is dead. Farmers count up the loss from Oklahoma wildfires, and cyber thieves steal the identities of nearly 500,000 Oklahomans. This is OU Nightly.
There was an armed man. We didn't quite know because there wasn't an alert from campus or President Boren, so we were kind of unsure.
Fear and Greek housing lockdowns, all part of a frightening night for thousands of OU students, nearby residents, and people in East Norman as well. The worst of it came before midnight when a gunman rammed his way into the parking lot of Phi Gamma Delta fraternity and opened fire. The bullets shattered house windows, leaving the backyard riddled with shell casings, but no one was injured.
Norman police have identified the gunman. He is 21-year-old Vincent Valentine. Vincent fled from the Phi Gamma Delta house to the west and then took his own life. Now our team has a coverage of the startling rampage, and that begins with Blakely Durham live at the Phi Gamma Delta house. Blakely?
Thanks, guys. I am live here outside the OU Phi Gamma Delta house, where most of the chaos has transpired last night. But as more reports come out, we found out that 21-year-old Vincent Valentine arrived here around a little bit after 11 p.m., but it was actually not his first stop of the night. It all started last night around 11 p.m. when the suspect Vincent Valentine went to the Walmart off Classen and US 77. Police received a call saying Valentine was destroying shrubbery outside the Walmart with a hatchet and had reportedly pointed a gun at an employee who had tried to approach him. From there, he headed towards the OU Phi Gamma Delta house.
He drove into that back fence, and that's when we received that second call for service with the individual matching the same description, that they had crashed into the back fence of that fraternity house and had immediately fired a couple of shots towards the residents, and then one inside of the vehicle. Preliminary investigation kind of tells us through talking with witnesses that he was then confronted by several fraternity members. At that point, he did point the gun at those members. There was some form of a malfunction that occurred. He also attempted to throw the hatchet at those members, that same hatchet that was being used to chop down those shrubbery at the front of Walmart. He threw those at the individuals. Thankfully, no one was injured in either one of those incidents.
Valentine then ran several hundred yards on foot, where police found him in a nearby residential area on Chautauqua with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
We're still investigating the incidents and the relationships between this individual and Walmart and this individual and the fraternity. We do know and can confirm that there were some previous issues between this individual and the fraternity and some involvement there. However, the extent to that involvement and the exact timeline of that involvement, that's still under investigation.
Valentine was pronounced dead at the scene of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Norman PD will continue their investigation to see what his exact involvement was with the fraternity and try to figure out a possible motive for his actions. Reporting live outside of OU Phi Gamma Delta, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Blakely. Now 21-year-old Vincent Peter Valentine left a disturbing and dark social media trail. The education junior from Broken Arrow makes references to himself as Jesus and said he planned to die on the cross. People that lived near him at the Millennium apartment complex told Nightly he would often go on rage-filled tirades, destroying cabinets and shattering light fixtures.
The OU Greek community was especially shaken by the shots fired in their own backyard. More than 6,000 OU students are members of the Greek community, roughly 31% of all OU students. Many of them live in houses surrounding the Phi Gamma Delta house. The shots sent some Greek houses into active shooter protocols. Several went into lockdown and moved residents away from windows, while others waited for information from the university that never came.
Time they tell you that your house is on lockdown, you kind of you don't want to play with that, you actually want to listen. And we were able to watch through our house window, and when you see 3 cop cars pull up, a fire truck, an ambulance, something bad happened.
And supposedly there was an armed man. We didn't quite know because there wasn't an alert from campus campus or President Boren, so we were kind of unsure. And
in all, a scary night here at OU that left many students in the dark. We asked OU Nightly's Erick Payne to look into the university's lack of communication, and he joins us live from OU South Oval. Erick?
That's right, guys. While there were different accounts of the shooting incident being spread on social media and in various group messages, one voice was silent. Students at the University of Oklahoma have received OU alerts affecting students both on and off campus, ranging from severe weather to a train pedestrian fatality. During last night's shooting incident outside of the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity house, the active shooting event lasted about 1 hour with no updates from the university.
I mean, I think the alert system failed us. I think that there was an alert that went out, and usually there is. I mean, what about the people that aren't in Greek life? I mean, they're in danger too. The only people that knew what was going on were the people in Greek life. So I just think that alert system's there for a reason and didn't fulfill its purpose.
And we found out about it through our group chats that we were in, and we were just like, we're gonna stay inside. This is kind of scary. We were confused. We had no idea what was happening.
Matt Epting, press secretary for President Boren, sent OU Nightly this statement. It is our practice to issue an OU alert or lockdown only if there is a credible ongoing threat to the OU community. Norman PD contained the situation quickly. Any threat to the OU community was resolved before an OU alert or lockdown could be issued. Many students are now taking to Twitter to express their confusion and outrage on the lack of official updates from OU, saying Greek organizations are on campus when we make mistakes and near campus when there is a shooter is saddening. If you're more willing to throw Greek organizations under the bus, you should at least have their back when they need you. Emergency Preparedness Manager Lisa Teal and Dean of Students Clark Stroud were unavailable for comment. Reporting live from the University of Oklahoma, Erick Payne, OU Nightly.
Thank you very much, Erick. Firefighters have extinguished the Northwest Oklahoma wildfires, but officials are still adding up the anguish and loss they created. The Oklahoma Department of Agriculture estimates the raging fires killed an estimated 3,000 head of cattle and 6,500 hogs. Government programs will provide some aid, but the Cattlemen Association's foundation is also raising funds for victims who lost livestock, land, and more. Sad stuff, Jaycie.
Right, and I know so many people are really hoping that rain at least brings some grass here near midsummer.
Yeah, Jordan, what can you tell us?
So we do have some rain on the way for the state, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have much rain for Norman. But right now, live watches and warnings, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued for the Panhandle. That's until 10 p.m. tonight. We can see the storms are starting to develop, and it sure feels like spring outside. Temperatures are sitting inside the 80s, even topping off at 85 degrees in Lawton right now. Coming up, we're talking about a frontal Friday. We're also going to have a spectacular Saturday, a good start to the weekend, but unfortunately, that's going to lead to a stormy Sunday. All the details coming up, but for now, back to you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Now, the Republican effort to repeal Obamacare did not go as planned. Kyle Payne joins us now in the News Center with more. Kyle?
That's right, Jaycie. Just moments ago, Congress decided not to vote on Donald Trump and Paul Ryan's proposed replacement of Obamacare. The deal came to its conclusion when Trump failed to change the minds of a group of rebellious conservatives. Some say failing to secure the necessary votes is a stinging step back for the Trump administration in its first major legislative test. And Minority Leader Chuck Schumer plans on filibustering the confirmation hearing of Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch.
After careful deliberation, I have concluded that I cannot support Judge Neil Gorsuch's nomination to the Supreme Court.
As of now, the Republicans are 8 votes short of the 60 votes necessary for confirmation. Israeli police arrested an unnamed 19-year-old dual U.S.-Israeli citizen in connection with the wave of terrorist threats on Jewish centers across America, Australia, and New Zealand. Attorney General Jeff Sessions called the arrest a culmination of a massive investigation across multiple continents. And guys, just one day after the terrorist attack near Parliament, British police have taken 52-year-old Khalid Massoud into custody.
Thank you, Kyle.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, a new way to raise teachers' salaries could have an impact on your car.
Plus, Oklahoma is looking to handle DUI offenses differently. Stay with us.
Over 430,000 Oklahomans may have had personal information compromised. The Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Services reported a data breach in a website used to coordinate federal unemployment and workforce development programs. The breach of the website American Job Link Alliance included names, dates of birth, and even social security numbers. But OEMS has declared that the website is safe and that they have notified the FBI.
And state government is still coming up with ways to raise teachers' salaries. Emily joins us for the government report to tell us how exactly this may happen. Emily?
That's right, Jaycie. The Oklahoma Senate yesterday passed a measure that would increase teacher pay. But this time, the funding comes from an increase on motor fuel taxes. The House has already passed a bill to raise teacher pay, but Bill 1114 has no funding plan in place. This motor tax bill would increase taxes by 4% this fiscal year and another 4% next year. The bill passed the Senate with a 40-2 vote and now heads to the House. As of yesterday, driving under the influence offenses will be handled differently in Oklahoma. Legislators are trying to prevent accidents like this one by offering first-time offenders a program referred to as the Impaired Driver Elimination Act 2. Participants could have their license revoked for 6 months versus a year, and if they successfully complete the program, their driving record won't show any offense. This will prevent higher insurance rates and make seeking employment easier. Senator Kim David, author of the bill, says the program will help first-time offenders that simply just used bad judgment. And the Senate gave a unanimous approval to Bill 632 yesterday to create Education Compact for Kids in State Care. Excuse me, guys, I lost my place. Oh, dang it. And guys, former Senator Ralph Shorty will return to court tomorrow to face his child prostitution charges. OU Nightly will be there and keep you updated on that.
Awesome. So I know we're currently still waiting to hear when and exactly where that's going to happen, but we should definitely be there tomorrow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Emily.
You're welcome, guys.
Yep. Next up, Jordan Overton has more on the weather, and I've heard some spring storms are headed for the Sooner State. Jordan?
That's right. Spring storms are on the way. I'll let you know when after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Jordan Overton. We look at your weather. So live right now, it is looking fantastic. Not a single cloud in the sky. Sitting at 83 degrees, a sunny sky. South-southeast wind, though, is very windy at 26 miles an hour. And our dew point is sitting at 48 degrees right now. So it's been a fantastic day across most of the state. But that's going to be coming to a change as we go through tonight. So right now, live radar, we have a severe thunderstorm watch. This area shaded in pink. It's until 10 o'clock tonight. You can see those storms developing just to the west of Guyman. Now, what's going to happen with those storms? They're going to move into the main body of Oklahoma tonight. So here's future radar, the radar forecast. So by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock tonight, we could see some rain showers in Norman. Now, remember, these storms are way out in the panhandle, which means they have about 400 miles before they can make it into Norman. By then, they're going to be much weaker. We're looking at maybe some rain showers, but no storms in Norman tonight. But then, those storms tomorrow, there they are right there. But as we go through tomorrow into Friday, those will actually re-strengthen in eastern Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon. So this is at 4 o'clock. There you can see they're strengthening in eastern Oklahoma. Those move off, though. And then we have northwest winds for the day on Saturday. Saturday is going to be great. It's going to be a fantastic day to be outside, maybe go to the lake or anything like that. But Sunday, things change. Winds return back to the south, and we could see another chance for storms on Sunday. So there they are, off to the southeast. Now, the best chance for storms in Norman would be on Sunday. I think for Norman, for Friday and for Saturday, we'll stay dry. Best chance for us is going to be on Sunday for severe storms. But for tonight, 62 degrees in Norman, Normal's 43, so we are way above normal thanks to the strong south winds. For your day planner tomorrow, it's going to be a windy day. Have a slight chance for rain in the morning. Again, it will just be some showers, no thunder, nothing really major. Then we chop off at 78 degrees by 5 o'clock that night. And then we're at 78 degrees for Norman for tomorrow. And then for eastern Oklahoma, you could see those storms late tomorrow night, especially after 3 o'clock. And then there's 7-day forecast, a beautiful day on Saturday, but then chance for rain on Sunday. We'll dry out for Monday and Tuesday before our next system moves in for Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Typical Oklahoma, right?
Typical Oklahoma, March and
warm
April.
and raining. So awesome. Well, thank you, Jordan.
Holden, another big-time basketball star could be headed to Oklahoma.
The nation's #1 recruit shows interest in OU, and Russell Westbrook etched his name into the NBA record books. Sports is straight ahead. world went into a frenzy earlier as the #1 overall prospect in the class of 2017, Michael Porter Jr., was granted his release from the University of Washington. It was a month ago that the Sooners landed top Oklahoma recruit point guard Trae Young as the biggest get for the program since Blake Griffin, but adding the #1 overall recruit for this year's class would take the cake here. Porter Jr., a 6'10" forward, signed with Washington back in July, but following the firing of head coach Lorenzo Romar, Porter decided he wanted to weigh his options. Oklahoma is considered to be high in the running for Porter Jr.'s services, and it's no secret that Trae Young is behind his interest in the school. Porter said following his release that the two playing together is back on the table now, and together they would be able to create something special. Spring practice is officially underway for the OU football team. The search for the next running back is on. The Sooners' top two backs from last season, Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, both declared for the NFL draft. Former top recruit Rodney Anderson has been hurt the past 2 seasons, leaving Dimitri Flowers and Abdul Adams as the 2 running backs with the most carries.
To this point, he's had a good winter. You feel like he's stronger and faster than he was, so we've got to get him out there and hopefully make some plays and be a dynamic guy like we think he can.
Sooner gymnast senior Chase Capps has been named one of 7 finalists for the AAI Award for the most outstanding senior female gymnast in the country. Capps becomes the 6th consecutive Sooners finalist for the award and is ranked in the top 20 in the nation in all 4 events and the all-around. Last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder were back in action following a blowout loss to the Warriors on Monday. Russell Westbrook and co came up guns ablaze against the Sixers. The Thunder exposed Philadelphia early and often. Enes Kanter had a team-high 24 points. Russell Westbrook became the first person in NBA history to record a triple-double while going perfect from the field and at the free throw line. Final score 122-97. And for the first time in the United States is playing in the World Baseball Championship game against undefeated Puerto Rico. Ian Kinsler started the scoring, unloading on a 2-run homer here, and then Marcus Stroman shut the door with 6 no-hit innings. Nolan Arenado gets the ball and fires to first base, and the U.S. is World Baseball Classic champions for the first time ever. The NCAA tournament continues on tonight with 4 Sweet 16 games. Cinderella story Michigan continues its run, having won 6 games in a row following a plane crash on the way to the Big 12 tournament. Michigan will take on Oregon in the first game of the night, followed by 2 Big 12 teams, West Virginia against Gonzaga and Kansas against Purdue. Wrapping up the night, 11 seed Xavier takes on 2 seed Arizona. And hopefully we'll see some more buzzer beaters in the tournament like we saw in this game here at Minnesota High School basketball. Champlin Park goes for the winner, misses the shot, but the ball gets tipped back out and they nail the crazy 3-pointer to advance to the state semifinals.
Wow.
And I don't know about you, but I don't think I could make that shot if I tried.
Oh, never. Well, thank you, Holden. Still to come on OU Nightly, a nation celebrates man's best friend.
I'm Sydney Forsee at the OU Nightly Update Desk with the latest on the GOP healthcare bill. The White House says that the delayed vote on the controversial Obamacare replacement is due to scheduling, but many believe there's just not enough votes to pass it. President Trump is expected to make calls through the night. And Trump Care isn't the only thing taking up the president's time. Tomorrow, his administration is set to approve the Keystone XL pipeline. That's it for now. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much. And if anyone needed another reason to adopt a puppy, today is National Puppy Day. The day brings awareness to orphan dogs who need a home and educates the public on the horrors of puppy mills across the country. Founded in 2006 by Colin Page, the woman who also founded National Cat Day, but National Puppy Day is actually considered an international holiday. That's something I could celebrate all year round.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. So Jordan, is it a good night to walk the dog?
So yeah, it actually is going to be a good night if you don't mind the wind. If you don't like the wind, it's not going to be a good night to walk the dog. Very night, we're dropping into the upper 60s tonight. Then a chance for storms in eastern Oklahoma tomorrow.
Yeah, that rain always has to come back around.
Not a fan of the wind. We all know it, but I just don't like it at all.
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching the OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.